Saying that this is not part of these men's usual daily routines would be an understatement. All of them are either reservists or have served in two of the most prestigious units of Israeli Special Forces, Sayeret Matkal and Shaldag. They've taken over the headquarters of the Kohelet Forum, a right-wing think tank that supports and campaigns for justice reform. Elite unit reservists evacuated by the police would normally be unthinkable in an Israeli society so tied to its army. But recently, unease has been spreading in the ranks. Many doubt whether they can continue to serve in the reserves if the Israeli Supreme Court relinquishes its role as a watchdog and Parliament becomes all-powerful. Gil says he's long held concerns about this, but now feels he must take action.
I am doing a lot of days in reserve. No, I'm not going to serve in country that somebody take the democracy to dictator. I'm going to sit in my house and going to the street till it's come back. Then I go to reserve.
These men from across generations say the government's directly attacking the democratic foundations of the country. This 22-year-old sniper says some of his comrades have started boycotting their days on duty.
Last week in the training, there was half of the quantity of the people. Half of them didn't come, and I assume that when the law will pass, most of them will not come. They will replace the pilots. They will replace me as a sniper, and that's it.
The set of laws that are passed are really taking away the essence of this country, which is Jewish and democratic, and that by itself is a little bit difficult, right? That's saying Jewish and democratic, but we found in these 75 years, we found a balance. It's deteriorating, and every week it's getting worse and worse. And I'm really afraid of what's going to happen here. We're on the verge of a civil war.
Strong words that go beyond justice system reform. They emphasize the fracture between secular Israel and those who support the religious supremacists consolidating their power in government. The authorities accuse these protesting reservists of being anarchists, a surprising label to put on General Relik Shafir. This former fighter pilot was part of the squadron that bombed the Ozark nuclear reactor southeast of Baghdad in 1981. He now manages a group of more than 1,000 former army pilots, all committed to fighting these reforms.
This is not actually a judicial reform, but it's a combination of a judicial revolution, a theocratic revolution. Active pilots, F-15, F-16, whatever, they're flying and say, we will not fly airplanes in this particular dictatorship environment. And this is putting a lot of pressure on the decision makers, and we hope that it will make them understand that they need not just to slow down, but build a reform which is acceptable not just to the extreme right, but also to the people in the center.
Reserve pilots command respect within the army because their units rely on them to a great extent. They regularly conduct strikes on Gaza or Syria. The following day, General Shafir is mobilizing his troops, among them former pilots and veterans of the Israeli space program. They're preparing to blockade Tel Aviv airport.
One of the first pilots in the Air Force, F-16 pilots in the Air Force, and he's the commander of this mission and other missions that we do.
As they approach the main terminal, these two fighter pilots repeat an argument widely shared among active military as well as reservists. A weakened judicial institution could expose them to international prosecution.
The International Court in Hague can pursue soldiers only if their internal justice system is not handling it. So if we don't have Supreme Court, then we are open to allegation by at the Hague International Court.
Because we have such a strong judicial system, we were always protected because of that. But if you are going to eliminate that, nobody is going to protect soldiers.
For now, the Israeli government has acted deaf to concerns raised by reservists. Addressing those refusing to serve, the communications minister said, "Go to hell, Israel doesn't need you."